ahead.
Sean, just checking on the status of several guys.
Yep.
Aaron Deshaun, Leonard Floyd, and Tyler McVay.
Yep, all of those were kind of veteran rest days. They were first day in pads, and you just want to be smart with kind of just their progression, Lindsay. We'll have an off day tomorrow, then we'll come back. It'll be kind of a lighter practice, and then Saturday at the Cowboys. So just kind of veteran rest days for those guys.
Did you have helmet pads overnighted?
You know what? Brennan Berger had a couple of those, and then the heightened sense of urgency based on what happened the other day. Hey, better safety. No swag with those things on, but hey, we'll be safe and smart, and guys were great about it because they understand exactly why. It's kind of the concussion preventative maintenance, but also most importantly, what happened the other day, is just with the quarterbacks finishing over the top, coming down on those helmets. It'll definitely soften the blow, and you don't have to worry about that our quarterback break his finger and things like that. Hopefully.
Do you expect those to be a staple?
Yeah, they will, and in any of these competitive situations and things like that through training camp, and we'll continue to navigate through. But I just, I think it would be totally my fault if for whatever reason something like that happened again, and we have a thing in place that we can kind of at least be preventative and smart about it. And so I thought that was the smart thing, and our guys are always great when there's a reason why.
Sean, I noticed Ben Sperana got in a workout with the trainer, but then wasn't practicing today.
Yeah.
What happened?
He's felt a little bit in his hamstring, Jordan. So we're just kind of monitoring him, seeing how he feels. Hopefully progressing him back sooner than later. But it's that hamstring's bothering him a little bit.
With the vet day for so many guys in starting positions, what did you see out of some of the younger guys who are especially coming off first day of pads, fatigued? What did you see from a couple of guys?
Yeah, I think until you go back and watch the film, it's hard to say. But I think what it does is a guy like Sebastian Joseph Day. When Aaron's not out there, let's raise your level of play. When Leonard Floyd's not out there, Justin Hollins, let's raise your level of play. I thought Jalen did a great job leading the back end with Jordan Fuller. Those guys have been consistent, but it's really just another opportunity for some of those other guys that are, key members to step up when some of those leaders are missing. I thought Johnny Munt made a couple plays, Jacob Harris with Higbee having a rest day. So it gives guys an opportunity to really assert themselves in those leadership roles that we want them to continue to ascend to. But we are certainly, at our best when those guys are with us as well.
We saw Tutu working a little bit.
Yeah.
How's he feeling, and what's kind of the plan moving forward now
Yeah.
that you know how he's feeling?
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it. It's going to be a smart progression that we kind of put in place. He hit his yardage mark, and then we kind of just had him watch for the rest of the day. So he did a good job. It's good to get him out here, even just running routes on air, getting comfortable, hearing the terminology in the huddle, breaking it, getting lined up the right way. So you can tell he's a smart, conscientious guy. Expect him to get up to speed pretty quickly, but we do want to be smart with that progression because he's been in a hotel for 10 days.
Any noticeable weight gain or loss?
I haven't seen too much of him. He looks jacked.
Like your finger?
That's right. Yeah, no, Matt really is. Tutu's lean.
From a competitive standpoint, obviously Oxnard will raise the bar, so to speak.
Yep.
What are you looking for in terms of outside of the competitive nature?
I think that's really it. And then we'll implement a lot of different situations. Coach McCarthy's been great about putting together a good practice plan that's going to be reflective of us getting a lot of work, and it'll be focused on a lot of our top guys. We kind of look at it as, in a lot of instances, these practices kind of serve as supplemental or substitutes, if you will, for the preseason games because of the approach we take. And so it'll be a lot of different things and good competitive work, trying to keep our guys, safe, but also, get a chance to go against somebody else that different defensive scheme, different offensive scheme, get a chance to go against Bones and the things that he does in the kicking game. So that'll be fun.
Sean, a year ago a year ago we're standing here, or we weren't standing here because there was no thing, and we're talking about virtual. How different does your staff feel right now with, quote, back to normal? Is it back to normal?
Yeah, I think you feel much better. It's just, even doing this with you guys, this feels like the norm. There's nothing like being physically present with people, Kurt. We talked about that a lot, having to do the coaches show, on Zoom all year last year. So it's one of those deals that it's just nice to be, physically present with people. The energy, you can just feel those things. You don't have to have the masks on, with the exception of Stu right now, but just kidding around. But it's just much better. I feel better. I like the feel of this, and it's much more in alignment with what we're looking for.
Sean,
A couple more guys.
I'll get you Kevin next. Go ahead, Jordan.
Kevin. Okay. Tristan Jackson, obviously when Tutu was out,
Yeah.
filled in on a lot of his reps, tried to make the most of it seemed like.
Yep.
Now with Sean, taking the natural vet day, seemed to fill in on some of his reps. What has he showed you in terms of unwillingness to sort of give up any inch when he has that opportunity?
Yeah, he's a mentally tough kid. I really like Tristan. You know, he's just continued to progress, get better. You can see he's much more confident. You know, he's been playing a lot of the X position, but he had the ability to move to the Z yesterday. So his big picture understanding with just some of the nuances of the offense is showing up. He's got the physical skills. I'm a big fan of him. I think Eric Yarber's done a great job pouring into him, and he's a guy that's going to compete, and I expect him to continue to just get better. And, you know, he raises the level of play for that group, Jordan. Go ahead, Kev.
Raheem Morris looks like he's very hands-on,
Yeah.
working with individuals. More so than most coordinators?
You know, I think he's a special coach, Kevin. He's got a great presence. He's got a great ability to communicate. You know, he's still an athlete out here. He likes to throw it around with the guys, but I think that's one of the things that makes him a great coach. But that's who he is. You know, you guys have heard me say it over and over, consistency is the truest measurement of performance. Raheem Morris is like that every single day. You know, this is who he is day in and day out. He never has bad days. He's consistently pouring into these guys. I think he does a tremendous job leading our defensive staff and really our defensive unit. He's just a great leader. He's got all the things you look for in a great coach, and I feel really fortunate that he's on our staff.
Coach,
Go ahead.
I know it's still early.
Yeah.
How does your offensive line look?
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's still a little bit early. I am encouraged with what I've seen from the first 2 days in pads. It was also great to get Kevin Carberry out here. You know, get a new offensive line coach this year. I think he's going to do a great job, but he's been forced to kind of just run meetings on Zoom. Today was the first practice that he was able to take part in, but I think guys are doing a great job communicating. I like what I'm seeing. There's a long, long way to go. There's so many things that go on up front with all five getting on the same page with the communication, the targets in the run game, but I think we're taking steps in the right direction. I've been really encouraged by a handful of guys. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Well done.